You piss off the government with Bitcoin, they'll step on you. They will step on you. They have guns.
So I don't save dollars because I don't trust the US dollar.
It's not who's right or wrong, gold, silver, or Bitcoin. It's just how much do you have? If you don't like it, don't touch it.
Bitcoin is probably going to go to $50,000. It's the biggest opportunity in the history of the world.
Now, the biggest news of all was just recently, in the last few weeks, it was disclosed that Warren Buffett has dumped all of his banking stocks. He's dumped JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Visa. He's dumping all of his banking stocks. So why would Buffett be dumping banking shares? You know why? It's because when they go to cryptocurrency, when the US dollar goes cyber, we don't need banks anymore. Think about that. You know, I was just in China. I use my little iPhone and I don't need cash. The decentralized alternative to central banking, which I agree with 100%. It is why it is the most important currency ever invented in the world. The other thing is you piss off the government with Bitcoin, they'll step on you. They will step on you. They have guns, big guns. And I'm an ex-Marine, I'm a former Marine, so I understand what it's like to enforce the monetary system. But when Joe Biden just said he's going to put Janet Yellen as Secretary of the Treasury, and she was head of the Fed, Federal Reserve Bank, that's centralized government. So I think what Biden has done is made our cases for gold, silver, and Bitcoin valid. You know, this thing of the reason I own gold, I started with gold and silver when I was 16 in silver, and then 22 in gold, was I don't trust the banks. It's pure and simple. You know, the Fed and the U.S. Treasury, because I studied that stuff. I flunked out of school, but I do know about the Fed, and I do know about the Treasury. They're two different people. They're supposed to be, but today they're one. They're called Janet Yellen, Secretary of the Treasury, who was head of the Fed. It's exactly the reason you should be in Bitcoin, also gold and silver. I don't know if you follow American politics, but when Joe Biden just said he's going to put Janet Yellen as Secretary of the Treasury, and she was head of the Fed, Federal Reserve Bank, that's communism. That's hardcore communism. That's centralized government.
Right in front of our eyes right now, we can see capitalism, socialism, and communism. That's what I'm concerned about. And the average person without financial education from our schools can't see it. They can't see it. So we're shifting to communism right now, central control of the economy. So what should I do? I always say, gold, silver, God's money, Bitcoin, people's money. You want to get outside this corrupt system. You know, Bitcoin is open source. That means the central banks can't mess with it. So I'm not saying Bitcoin, you know, and people get into what I call pissing matches. Which is better, gold or Bitcoin? Who cares? The question is, how much do you have? That's all that counts right now. Because the reason you buy gold, silver, or Bitcoin is for the same reason. You want to get outside this corrupt system. If you trust the US government or the central banks, the Fed, and Wall Street, then save money. But if you don't, then buy gold, silver, and Bitcoin. The reason I like gold, silver, and Bitcoin is this. The trouble with the US dollar, the more it drops in value, the more they print. Let me say that again. The US dollar, the yen, the peso, the euro, as it drops in value, because interest rates keep dropping, they print more of it, and people save it. Talk about losers. Get it through your head. They're printing it. It's worth less and less and less. Whereas Bitcoin, the thing I like about it, because the more valuable, more expensive Bitcoin gets, they print less of it. It's called a halving. So the price goes up, but the quantity comes down. And check the dollar out. The value of the dollar comes down, but they print more of it. Why would you save it? Well, it's the same with gold and silver. You know, gold and silver are God's money. They can try, but they can't make any more of it. This could be the biggest opportunity you'll ever see. I'm not making any commissions on this stuff.
Yeah, of course.
But if you look at what happened with the fake central bank, see, the purpose of the central bank or the Fed or all, you know, the Japanese, the Bank of Japan, or the European Central Bank, they pump out fake money. Mm-hmm. The purpose of central banks like the Fed is to protect the banks,
Yeah.
not you. They're a criminal operation as far as I'm concerned.
This is my latest book. It's called Who Stole My Pension? In America, it's called a 401k. In Aussie, it's called a superannuation. What's happening is Wall Street and the Federal Reserve Bank and the Treasury have looted our pensions. So all the old guys like me, they don't have any pension. Look at the state of California. They have the biggest pension plan in America is called CalPERS. It's the pension plan for school teachers, police officers, and firefighters. It's got no money in it. So what that means is, again, the Federal Reserve Bank and the Treasury will have to print more money. So if they print more money, what does that do to the price of gold and silver and Bitcoin? That's the question. So I'm not saying buy gold, silver, or Bitcoin, but I'd rather have that than the US dollar or the Aussie dollar or the British pound.
So I don't save dollars because I don't trust the US dollar. And I just save gold and silver and recently Bitcoin. And the reason is because of 1971, when Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard, the dollar became fake. So now that COVID has hit and they printed more money in 2020 than they did in the first 200 years of our country. And still people are saving dollars. You should be buying some gold, some silver, and we can afford it, Bitcoin. I first started buying silver in 1964 when I was 17 years old. And the reason is I didn't know, I was a kid, a high school kid, and I saw this little copper tinge around the dimes and the quarters and the half dollars. I didn't know what that means, but there's a law called Gresham's Law. And Gresham's Law says there's something that we as human beings know what's real or fake. And apparently as a kid, I kind of knew that anything with a copper tinge around the dime, quarter, or half dollar was fake. So I used to caddy for the golf. I played golf, so I caddied to make money to pay for my golf. And I would take my caddy money and I'd take it into the bank and I traded in for rolls of dimes, quarters, and half dollars, and I'd go through the coins, and if I saw anything with copper on it, I'd kick it back, and then I'd rewrap them and take it back to the bank with extra money. So I did that for about a year. I just kept collecting dimes, quarters, and half dollars, and I had this whole bag of what they call bulk silver today. But the average person has been conditioned to think about paper, fake money, fake dollars. At the same time, they're printing as much money as they possibly can. They give it to their rich friends. They don't give it to us. And then they print it and interest rates keep going down. So in 1974, when I got out of the Marine Corps, if I had $1 million, which I didn't, I could put $1 million in 74 into a savings and loan, a bank, in a certificate of deposit, and they would pay me 15% on my $1 million. So a lot of people have made a lot of money. They just put their money into the bank and they're being paid 15% interest. So $1 million back in 74 was worth approximately $150,000. Now it's not a lot of money to retire on, but you could have retired on $150,000 in 1974. Today, I take $1 million into the bank, I might get 2%. So that means it went from $150,000 to $20,000. And after taxes, that $20,000 might be worth $15,000. In other words, since 1974, the US dollar has lost 90% of its value, and people still say to their kids, save money. You've got to be crazy. They're going to, now that the elections are over and all this, I don't care if it's Trump or Biden, they're going to have to print so much money just to pay for all of the social entitlement programs so people don't riot. They can't afford to have any more rioting. So they're going to print more and more money, and people are still saving dollars or yen or euro or pesos. Right now, you should be saving gold, silver, or Bitcoin. And the thing is in the year 2000, I started buying gold at $250 an ounce. And today it's worth 10 times that much, approximately. So I'm very happy with my gold. And silver was like $2 or $3 or something, and now it's worth 30. And the Bitcoin I bought, thank God I was buying it at 9,000. And today it's worth over $1 million. But the reason for that has nothing to do with gold, silver, or Bitcoin. It has to do with the incompetence of the Federal Reserve Bank, or the corruption of the Federal Reserve Bank, the US Treasury, and Wall Street. Silver today is a bargain. I mean, today is around November 15th, I think, or whatever it is. And I can buy a silver eagle for about 30 bucks. And everybody in the world can afford 30 bucks. But the average person has been conditioned to think about paper, fake money. And the thing I like about Bitcoin is that I can run with it. It's just a number in my head. And my trouble with my gold and silver, I got so much of it, I have to lug it. It's hard to get it around. So when I started looking into Bitcoin, it was already starting to come up, so I started buying it around 9,000. And today I think it's around 15 or 16,000. I don't know what it is. I don't count that. I just count the number of coins I have. That's it. And I'm buying more. And the reason I endorse silver is because everybody can afford it. Today it costs you about $30 for a US silver eagle. I'm not saying it's going to make you rich, but if you have 20 million of them, you'll be rich. If you just kept saving silver, the way I kept saving gold, and now I'm saving Bitcoin, you don't have to go to college to save it. Just buy it, hide it. Buy it and hide it. You keep it out of the sight of the US government or your government. The people that bought gold, silver, or Bitcoin, let's say live in Argentina, you're so much richer today than a person who saved pesos. And it's the same as my friend in Australia. If you're saving the Aussie dollar, you're going to be crazy, or the Singapore dollar, or the Canadian dollar. So how many ounces, what percent, should you have 5%, 10%? The hell with the percentage. Just get as much as you can, because when this COVID thing finally blows over, the problems are still around. Our national debt is so high. We have so many people on entitlement plans. Our pensions are about to go broke. The US government is broke. Our debt to GDP in America today is 130% debt to GDP. At 90% debt to GDP, it's over with. So we went from 90% to 130%. That means we can't pay off our bills. So they're going to have to keep printing more fake US dollars or pesos or yen or euro, whatever you're saving. But right now, if you can get your hands on gold, silver, or Bitcoin, I don't care which one, but it's better than saving fake money. So I like Bitcoin. I'm glad I bit the bullet at 9,000. It was hard because, gold was only about 1,800. So to buy Bitcoin was hard. But I'm glad I have it today. I'm still planning on buying more because I think, Bitcoin's probably going to go to $50,000. Gold's going to go to $15,000, and silver will probably go to $200. And you're going to buy it then. But at this point in time, if you can't afford gold or Bitcoin, buy some silver. Just keep buying it, hold on to it, keep buying, hold on. Don't keep it inside a bank. But the ride in gold, silver, and Bitcoin is about to run. The reasons you buy them are the same. It makes no difference. The reason you buy gold, silver, Bitcoin, because I don't trust our government. It's the biggest opportunity in the history of the world.